Hello and welcome back to Kuwait. In this video I'm going to be taking you to some places of interest outside of Kuwait City. It's a small country, but there is a lot more to it than just the main central areas with the souks and the skyscrapers, etc. So hopefully we'll be able to show that and a bit more of the culture through in this video of the entire country. I'm here with Khalid again, who's helping to drive me around to all these different places and show me around too. Without a local, it'll be a little bit difficult to get to some other places outside of Kuwait City. We found a couple of locals who we can talk to, who are doing some of the farming here. Just making my way over the small stream. Wow. What is this?
Rashad.
Rashad?
Yeah. We call it Rashad.
Okay.
Nice.
Dasu.
Mahash, we call it. They're using cutting, so that's this line. Complete.
بلد بريطانيا
بريطاني.
ما يعرف عربي
لا قالت السلام عليكم شكرا.
Hudafas.
You told Khudafis, he called bye bye.
Yeah, yeah. So those guys are Iranians. One of them was half Bangladeshi, working here. Actually in a beautiful environment, birds chirping, greenery. You don't want to be in the busy city. And wintertime, the sun isn't too hot to sit in. You could just chill here for a while. You can think of worse jobs. In the summer, however, no. Much worse, I'm sure.
It's a nice one.
So this one you'll find in many Kuwaiti Middle Eastern restaurants all over the city, and it'll usually be there as a kind of garnish or side dish to just have while you're eating the rice and the meat and the fish and the rest of it. Yeah. Tastes exactly the same.
Yeah.
Fresh. Venturing south from Kuwait City, we're now here at Al Qurain Martyrs Museum, which covers a very important part of Kuwaiti history. In 1990, Saddam Hussein's Iraq invaded the country, and it led to a very bloody war, which was relatively short-lasting, but the damages of which are still visible today. This museum is a real-life place where some of the events happened. It's not a replica. It genuinely is buildings that were destroyed by Iraqi tanks, and people died in these buildings. There's a very well put together museum that's part of it, and highly recommended that you visit to learn all about the history. So there were many incidents like this across the war, but this one is one of the most notable and the one which has the most evidence. It all started with an Iraqi patrol looking for young Kuwaiti soldiers in the area who could be rebels. The intelligence patrol came and knocked on the door. Little did they know how many men were inside. The Kuwaiti men inside knew that if they were rounded up and taken, they would be executed. So they had no choice but to fight for their lives. And when they started firing, the Iraqis then brought in the tanks, which gave the building heavy fire, and there are many similar sorts of stories across the country from 1990 and 1991. Marks from the tanks which fired from outside the building. So overall inside the building, 7 actually survived and 12 of the Kuwaiti men died. 2 of the survivors were hiding up here. You can see a picture of one of them, the attic where Mohammed Yusuf hidden survived. A few of the men covering them, unfortunately, didn't have the same fate. The tank originally started at the top of the street here and made its way around to roughly the position where you can see it today. You can see the huge damage that was done, the gaping holes in the building that remain. Even the bathroom round the corner is not a bathroom anymore. Many soldiers with heavy fire. It would have been absolute hell to try and stand your ground in this building to the far greater numbers of Iraqi soldiers that were just outside. In the museum you'll find marked each point where one of the martyrs was killed. Captain Yusuf Qadir Yusuf Ali, the third martyr, died right at this spot here. On the rooftop, the point where the leader Saeed Hadi was killed, right by the water tower. You can see the sheer size of the RPG marks. Can you imagine? It doesn't even have to hit you. Anywhere within a few meters of you and you'll lose a leg or an arm or something. The street today, normal and quiet. So how did it all end? 8 of the martyrs were captured after the Iraqis eventually got into the building. Pieces of Iraqi uniform from the soldiers have actually been found here in 2003, believe it or not. One of the captured men, his portrait was put here originally in the 1990s, very shortly after he was taken to Iraq, in the hope that he would survive. He was eventually found to have been killed by 2003. All of the 8 men were taken to Iraq. Connected to the house is the museum. Here is the leader who lost his life on the rooftop. Most interesting fact, one is Sunni, the other Shia, both fighting together to defend Kuwait. So we've just stopped by the roadside as we saw some camels, and Khalid here kindly asked the man to show us and take a look at some of the Kuwaiti camels. It's a girl or boy?
Yeah. No, okay.
Girl.
Yeah.
How many camels is he looking after?
كم راس هذا معتني فيه؟
ها؟
كم راس معتني فيه؟
10.
10. 10.
10.
Yeah.
I see. And how many years has
كم
he
سنة
been here?
اشتغلت معهم؟
هذه 3 سنة.
والابن بشكل عام؟
والله واجد اللي اشتغلت في السعودية واشتغلت هنا.
والله. يعني كم سنة نقول 20؟
لا
25.
يعني اقل من 20.
About 20 years.
Okay, 20 years, wow. So I've just taken the 1.5 hour or so journey south from Kuwait City to Al Wafra. We're near the Saudi Arabia border, actually, just a couple kilometers away. We're here to take a look at some Arabian horses. They're supposed to be some of the most beautiful horses you can find.
See how they're cutting? Making shaving here to making the curve clearly. Curve. The Arabian horse is famous for the curve, big nose, big eyes, and standing there.
Apparently this particular Arabian horse is worth more than £100,000, has its own passport, pure Arabian blood.
And the big eyes, the big nose, and you feel it's strong. It's not coming weak like this. No. You feel the power inside. وين؟ لا ما يجي بس ليس ايه هذا لو في احمر ادهم cheese nose eyes and the cave. That's okay. If you're coming directly you see the nose and the eyes.
Yeah. This is one of the best stadiums here, and there are particular horses in here I'm not allowed to show because they want them to be a surprise for their competitors when it comes to the competitions that they enter. Some of them are huge, beautiful looking horses.
With the moving, we'll see outside inshallah.
You can see the ears of the Arabian horses are standing like knives, always, when you look at them directly from the front, which is an interesting part of their appearance.
And you feel it's like that, they have power, you know? It's not like bull or English horses. It's the neck coming from here, starting like this. Arabian horse from the top, starting to the top.
Okay, I see.
That's why you see it standing like the soldier.
You can see the owner of this place. The horse here took second in the World Championships. So if you're not really familiar, the horses get judged on a number of different factors, such as the ability to run, the speed, the look. All those things are what makes a champion horse. So they're bringing one of the horses to give us a demonstration of its Arabian power and beauty. MashaAllah. Next up, we're seeing a different color. This horse is brown and it's a male. The last one was female and we called it blue horse, even though it kind of has more of a gray, whitish appearance. Having left the horse stadium and stables, We're now on the road back north towards Kuwait City, but still far out, just heading north. There are lots of interesting places around this kind of remote area of the country, and yet you'll find people selling fruits and veg that you might not necessarily associate with Kuwait. Take a look at one of these stalls. We have tomatoes, bananas, oranges, and kiwis, grapes. I love seeing these little places. If you have a car, if you have access to drive around, then you can take a look. Here we have two starters and the main. One of them is called marguk, and the second one kaput. And then we also have the rice kapsa chicken on one side and the meat hiding underneath the non-saffron infused rice. Already tried both of the starters and they are very warm and hearty, perfect for the winter. And now we've got proper Bedu food here, starting with the meat and the plain rice. Very simple. You've got to eat with your hands in Kuwait, by the way. On the other side here, we have the saffron rice, which is yellow. As you might be able to see, it's a bit dark. A different type of flavor. It's like a caramelized onion. And then of course the chicken, which has simply been boiled alongside the rice and then put into the oven to finish off, I believe. And all coming together to make a very traditional, simple Kuwaiti dish, which is still popular today. Amazing. So sweet shops are a big thing in the Gulf and in the Arab world, and this one here in Kuwait City is perhaps the very best one. And I'm just showing you the inside, a few of the different things that are on offer. So you have kunafa here, which is originally from the Levant, around Turkey, that sort of region. And then you also have baklava here and a bunch of other things in these big dishes being cut up. And also some other sweets on this side here. Loads. We're going to try a little bit of the kunafa, and it comes in two different types. It comes with cheese and it also has a cream version too. It's quite late, it's nearly 11, but still locals are pouring in, and it seems to be everyone's favorite place to come and get a taste of something sweet late in the night after their meals. And I'm sure on Fridays and weekends this place is going to be heaving with people. So just left the sweet shop behind me, and of course when we went to pay they said no, it's all paid for. It's really amazing and surprising actually. So a good way to finish off today.